Very nice. Very
What's up,
nice.
you guys? Welcome back to another video. First off, what I want to say to you guys is Happy New Year. With the new year comes more opportunity, more blessings, you know what I'm saying, more dope deck profiles. To kick off the new year, I wanted to bring you guys a deck that I started playing when I first got back into the game. When I first started getting back into the game, the first deck I picked up was this Dogmatica Stun deck. It was very old school and reminiscent of, just the old days when the game state was a little bit slower. So, being that we're in these faster formats, I just felt like I just wanted to bring this back out and see what I could do with it. So today I came third place at locals. We got a few packs right here to open up at the end of the video. I only got 2 packs because I came third place, but it was fun. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's get to the updated 2025 Dogmatica Stun deck. So first up on the list, today I played 3 Fossil Dyna. It was really good. It was crazy because when I was dropping this on the board, there was moments where like my opponent would look at their hand, look at the field, and then like they didn't know what to do with the card. You know what I'm saying? The only thing they could really hit this with was an Imperm or a Veiler, but I mean Veiler on my turn really doesn't do anything right. Sometimes you just got to bring it back to the old school cards and just simplify the game state with cards like this. And it came out as a QCR, so we had to update our boy. I play a card in the main that flipped this face down, and when it flipped face up, it blew up a lot of cards. So really good, very nice. Next up on the list, I played 2 Ecclesia to search out our Dogmatic Punishment. I don't really got anything to really say about Ecclesia. I mean, this card is too good, you know what I'm saying? Searches, gets what you need for next turn, follow up, blah, blah, blah. Next up on the list, I ran 2 Inspector Borders. At one point, I was running 3 of this card. I didn't mind playing it at 2. It was really good today. I don't really have too much to say about a lot of these cards. It's stun. Some of you guys, well, a lot of you guys know what this does already, but yeah. And then lastly on the list, I played the 1 Barrier Statue of the Drought. This was my alternative for Jowgen, and being that, we need more cards to just stop our opponent from special summoning, that's why I played that. But this was the monster lineup. It was really simple, really like slim. Wasn't nothing crazy. Next up, let's get straight into the spells. I ran triple Pot of Duality. Before I was running 2, but I decided to bump up to 3 because we need to see the cards that we need to see to dig and get to the pieces that we need to, interrupt our opponent, stop our opponent, floodgate our opponent, and all of the above. Had to run triple Pot of Duality this time around. And it's a QC, you know what I'm saying? It's very nice, very nice. On top of the triple Pot of Duality, we ran 1 Pot of Prosperity and then the 1 Card of Demise for, that extra draw power. Both of these cards were really good today. Game 2, I kind of sided this out to give me more potent cards, having cards that draw more cards and have potential to get ashed. Next up for the spells, I ran triple Nadir Servant, pretty standard, pretty basic. Because this card allows you to add from deck or graveyard, there's no reason to run 3 Ecclesia. 2 is enough. And then next up on the list, the whole reason we can play stun these days because cards stick around. We play triple Decisive Battle of Golconda. This is the whole reason why we're able to run stun. Like without this card, we're nothing. Next up on the list, I'm running 2 Time Terror Morganite. I see some people run this at 3, and I also see some people run 2 of these and then 1 of the other card. But personally, I just like running this at 2. 2 is enough. Shout out to them for making this a prismatic. I mean, it looks really nice. Next up on the list, I'm running 2 Forbidden Lance. The reason why I decided to run this card because most of the time, your Fossil Diners, your Inspector Borders and stuff like that loses to a Imperm. So being able to set this, or Chalice, I've been seeing people play Chalice these days. It's a cool card that I've been trying out. I was trying it out in Ryzeo. Been liking it here in anti-meta. So, just trying it out though. It's been pretty good. Next up on the list, we run the 1 Moon Mirror Shield. Some people play this at 2. I don't feel like you need to play it at 2. It was really good at 1 today. When I saw it, it was great. And yeah. And then lastly on the list, 1 card I was trying out is the 1 Heat Wave. My theory behind this was if I go first and I draw this card, I could just activate Heat Wave. And then for that turn, you can't special anyway. So they're just going to be setting. And if they don't have anything to commit to the set, then I could just set my Inspector Border, set my Fossil Dyna, and then proceed to go off like next turn. That was my theory behind this. I was testing it at 3 at one point, but 1 is really good. When you see it, it's not too bad. And you see it mid to late game, depending on what the game state is, you can kind of reset it. All right, so now that we got the spells done, let's go ahead and get into the traps. First up on our list, we have triple Solemn Strike. As the format has been progressing, I've been loving this card a lot more. Sometimes when you trade with your opponent, you don't always need to remove the problem right away. A lot of times your opponent will react to something, and then that allows you to just clear the problem completely off of the board. And then with them not being able to special summon with a Dino or a statue on board, they can't bring the monster back. Next up on the list behind the Solemn Strikes, we have double Solemn Judgment. If I had the choice to pay 15 versus 4K, I'm going to pay the 15 every time. Solemn Judgment is just there to give you that extra backup and push. Next up on the list, I am running 2 imperms. Turn 1, since we're not playing any hand traps, imperm just allows you to just play on your opponent's turn. You get what I'm saying? And just stop something, snipe something, slows them down, and then you can get into your plays. Next up on the list, I played 2 Dogmatic of Punishment. Some people may not agree with this, but sometimes I didn't like opening up with this card in 3s. So seeing it at 2 is not too bad. There's been a couple times where I drew all 3, and I just really hated that. So to mitigate that and to give us other cards to fight against our opponent, I decided to run 2, and it's been working out really good. Next up on the list, we're running 2 Storming Mirror Force. This card caught a lot of people off guard, just bouncing all their links and exceeds and all that back to the extra deck. Game 2, I always side 1 out. Next up on the list, played this broken OG card, Lose 1 Turn. Man, this card was the nuts today. And I played 2, so when they got rid of 1, I just flipped the other one. And a lot of times I chained this to, like, let's say they were about to bring out something, they commit to their play, I would chain this. Or if they put 2 bodies on board and I saw they're about to go off into something else, I just go ahead and activate this during the open game state. It slowed up a lot of things and allowed me to continue playing the game. Even though we lost Jowgen, I put 2 of these in and one of the stone statue. Yeah, this card was just great today. I loved it. Game 2, I side 1 out. Next up on the list, I ran 1 Daruma Cannon. I might actually bump this up because this was just too good today. Sending the links to the grave and just shutting down plays. And also, like, there were times where my opponent would special summon a board and I had, like, they imperm my Dyna. I would activate this, flip everything face down, and then on my turn, flip the Dyna, and then, yeah, the board gets blown up. I'm also debating on, like, making a build behind, like, trap tricks and running like 3s and just seeing how that works out. Play it like Labyrinth a little bit, so we'll see. And then lastly, I played 1 Crackdown. I have nothing to say about this card. It was great. Next up, we got the extra deck. I'm just gonna breeze through it because you guys know what these cards do. But I played triple Elder Entis. One point I was running this at 2, but 3 is just too good. Just keep blowing up stuff. Next up, I played triple Titan Clan. This is how we search our Ecclesia. And it's another 2500 monster when you don't want to waste your elders. End phase, you can either add the Ecclesia or special summon it. But you want to add it, don't special summon it unless you really have to. Next up, we ran the 1 Garua. Draw a card. The only card that's not blinged out in the whole deck profile is the double Ice Jade part itself. I don't feel like picking up Starlights, and I do feel like this might get reprinted as a QCR. Next up on the list, I'm running the Blazing Bombardment Beast. This card is your burn card in time, or when you just need to do a little bit extra damage. People don't see this coming. Clear annoying cards off our opponent's board. Next up on the list, we run the 1 Blossom, and then we're running the Bucephalus. Simple, don't need to say too much. 3500 guy, you know, you can send him and then send the Garua for her, you know, draw a card, put 1 back, etc., etc. Running the 1 Aggregator, of course. We do run the Ultimate Slayer, so this also helps us send for Ultimate Slayer. Finally on our list, we're running the Psyframe Omega, and then we're running the 1 Belong to Bounce cards. So yeah, really glad they gave this a rarity bump too. It looks really good. Of course, we gotta have that very nice token. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you comment on the video and just say very nice if you're enjoying the deck profile. Even if you don't play stun or don't like stun, just, you know what I'm saying, say very nice. For the side deck, don't pay it too much mind. It was pretty random. I just threw something together to go to locals, but I ran triple Lancia for when I was going against Malice. I did end up playing against Malice. For those that want to know, I do side out the 2 Time Tear Morganites to put in like hand traps and stuff like that, so it doesn't conflict at all. Next up in the side, I ran 1 King Tiger Wangu. This is an OG card, but sometimes if I had a Goganda, a Fossil Dyna, and then a Wangu on board, I was lit, you know what I'm saying? And if I had to lose 1 turn, we was super lit. Yeah, this card put in a lot of work against those decks that summon, you know, monsters 1400 or less. Next up on the list, I'm playing triple Thrust just to search out certain cards that we play that are thrustable. Next up on the list, we're running the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Ultimate Slayer, 1 Dark Ruler No More, 1 Raigeki, 1 Lightning Storm. That's about it for the spells. And then for the traps, we're running 1 Evenly Matched, 1 Dimensional Barrier, and then 1 Different Dimension Ground. And that is about it for the list. And that's about it for the profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe. Again, we came 3rd place today, so let's go ahead and open those 2 little packs that I got. Boom. So let's open up our tournament pack. Hopefully I pull an ulti. Nope. Booty butt ass. And then we got our pack. Hopefully I pull a QCR. Let's see. QC. Nope. Booty butt ass. Anyway, that's about it for the profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There's been another very nice deck profile. Peace.